If you read any comment section about anything polarizing on the internet, you will find that a lot of people are not interested in complex opinions or details, sometimes even facts. What they want is to know what side you're on so that they can then decide if they agree or disagree with you, and if they can't make out what side you're on, they might project one on you and then just run with it. It's the yes or no attitude that has left the world divided, with those in the middle scared to vocalize anything apart from the accepted narrative dictated by those who yell the loudest. You're either in or you're out. It's a yes or no, black or white. Choose a side, choose a side. Add to that the herd mentality and the fact that people are convinced their opinions equal the absolute truth, and what you're left with is very little room for conversation. Remember conversation? But these days, everybody, of course, is an expert. All you need to do, by the way, to become an expert is watch a TikTok about whatever subject it is. Take Twitter, for example. So toxic, but not surprising. On a platform that allows 280 characters at a time, there is no room for nuance. But it's what we've come to accept, prefer even, because it's less time consuming than actually getting into things. Our lives are busy. Who has time for nuance? It's called the what's your bottom line approach, and it has eliminated the shades of gray. Add to that keyboard warriors monitoring people's opinions and making sure that they stay in line within the yes or no options, and what you get is a world with absolutely no room for debate. It also has to do, of course, with how short our attention spans are. We are used to consuming our content in 15-second sound bites, and even that feels like a chore sometimes. Imagine actually having to read a full article or a book about anything. God, what a drag. However, the basic mistake many of us make, which is enforced by how social media platforms operate, is that the world is black or white, that every issue has only two sides to it. It's a very narrow-minded way of looking at things, and it's very polarizing. I don't know who this approach serves best, by the way, because I haven't looked into it, but I do know that old saying, divide and conquer, and I often wonder who is doing the conquering while all of us are busy arguing in the comment section. The truth is that the world has many shades of gray, and this is true about most topics. In fact, whenever it seems like there might just be two sides to a matter, you can almost rest assured that there's one more side to consider, at least. In other words, it's not always this or that. Sometimes it's this and also that. Yes, two things, even more, can be true at the same time, even if they are seemingly contradicting. Mind-blowing. But that's life. It's dynamic. And every time we present multi-layered issues in a yes or no manner, we are doing a massive disservice, not just to the issue at hand, but also to ourselves as a society. Why? Because that approach puts us in boxes. It labels us, makes us out to be one-dimensional, only capable of having one point of view at a time. And we have to have the same point of view on everything. But more importantly, it eliminates the middle ground and any chance of conversation, because you see, communication, debate, compromise, these are all things that happen in the middle. But if you have no middle, then we have no chance in bridging the gaps on anything. And finally, it silences a lot of people, not because they have nothing to say, but rather because they are afraid to say it. And it's usually people with less extreme opinions who want to have a conversation rather than just shout a bottom line. And so what we're often left with are two extreme opinions to any complex matter rather than a meaningful conversation about it. It's cancel culture tied up with the herd mentality at their absolute finest, and it is the biggest issue with social media. But here's the thing. While it may seem like those who shout the loudest are the majority, it's actually not true. Most people are regular folk, people like you and I, who have lost their voices because no one wants to hear it. Give me your bottom line or I'm not interested is how social media operates, and in my opinion, it is not good enough. There needs to be room for debate, even on the hard topics, even when we disagree, even when it's uncomfortable, because the gray areas are already fading away and soon there'll be nothing left. They say that the art of conversation is dead, and I fear it might be true. As long as people continue to think in this binary way, as long as people continue to use cancel culture as a weapon to threaten those who dare step out of the acceptable opinion by the masses, even if just to add a new point of view or ask a question, as long as people follow the herd and have no critical thinking of their own, we will be left with the loudest, most extreme voices dictating all of our lives. And is that really what we want?